2 key free throws down the stretch in a loss to the Clippers. Damian Lillard then dropped 51 in a win to redeem himself on Sunday. And he kept the momentum Tuesday night when he tied his career-high 61 points in a win over the Mavericks. The Blazers now have sole possession of the 8th seed in the West. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us this morning. I feel like, Chris, I've learned a lot about Dame this week. What have you learned about Damian Lillard?
Well, Jen, I've always had a lot of respect, great respect for Damian's game, his ability, his toughness, and his heart. And I've always known that if you go at him and challenge him, he will go right back at you. We all remember last year, the back and forth with him and Russell Westbrook, and then Dame hits the game winner from 40 feet over Paul George and had 50 points in that game, too. People kind of forget that because the shot was so great. So I'm not surprised at the way he's responded this week, that he responds to Paul George and Patrick Beverley with a 51-point game, that he responds to his controversy with Skip with a 61-point game. I'm not surprised by that, and I'm not surprised he had the ability to do it, because when you really look at it, this season, Damian Lillard has gone to another level. As great as he's been in the past, he's taken it to another level. He averaged a career-high 30 points a game this year, a career-high 8 assists, which is big because he's never even averaged 7 assists in a season. So for him to go to 8 assists a game is huge. Career-high 46% shooting, career-high 40% from 3. So he is really taking this game to the next level. And I've had to look at it and say, you know what? I've always viewed him as a star, but I've never viewed him as a superstar. And thus, I've never held him to the superstar standard. But it's clear from this week and this season that Damian thinks he's a superstar. He's put up superstar numbers and played at a superstar level and had, some superstar moments, obviously, especially this week. I'm going to start judging him by that level. Okay, so because he's not a superstar, I haven't held him to that highest standard that I hold Steph to and James Harden to. And that superstar level, it's great. It's where I say for every year you're going to be all NBA. It's where I say you're on a Hall of Fame track. You're phenomenal. But to get that extra praise, you have to be like an MVP, or you have to lead your team to the championship or very close. Shannon knows this. What they say in church, Shannon? New levels, new devils. And the devils will be, your playoff failures now will be magnified. Your playoff failures now, people will really highlight those. And Dame, as clutch as he's been, has had them. Skip is not off. I thought he was off yesterday and messing around with his 61-point game. But Skip is right in that last year, he struggled against Golden State. He averaged 22 points. For him, that's low on 36% shooting. The year before, when they got swept by New Orleans, he averaged 18 points on 36% shooting. And I glossed over it. Like, well, that's the level he's at. He's going to be here sometime. Sometimes he's not going to have it. But now I'm taking him to the next level, and he's got to deliver to get that extra praise. We all look at James Harden. Oh, he's phenomenal. He's great. He's one of all-time greats. But we always say, yeah, but, right? But can he win? And to me, Dame has entered that level where it's like, he is awesome, man. He's one of the best in the league. But can he win? So every year he's got to be either championship or very close for him to get that love, that extra love.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, I want you to go.
Oh, well, by the way, what was that reference to Shannon Knows Church? I didn't get that.
Yeah, I go to church.
What church?
You know I know the church, man.
I know he grew up there.
Mount Zion #1 Missionary Baptist Church.
And you quit going when you were 8, right?
No, my grandma would have it that you go to church. So you go out, you go to church in the morning.
All right. So this is the Damian Lillard I have experienced over the last couple of weeks. Maybe let's go back the last month. He is reminding me, weirdly, of Kevin Durant. Chris has been around Kevin. He knows what Kevin, how he's built. They're both extremely thin-skinned. They are both weirdly insecure for how great they are for their levels of performance, especially Kevin in the past, has been so insecure. He's Kevin freaking Durant. And yet both are obsessively concerned about the smallest little criticism from somebody who shouldn't matter. So look what Damian has done to me. He's called me, he's tried to dismiss me and discredit me as a phony and a bozo and a joke because I dared to say, man, you were so unclutch in 4 straight fourth quarters last year in close games against Golden State when you had them on the ropes with no Kevin Durant, and you didn't come through in any of those 4 games and 1 overtime. You basically just disappeared. What happened? And just because I just state a fact publicly, he's going to attack me just the way Kevin has attacked me in the past for reasons I could not reasonably sort of process. Once upon a time, Kevin went after me in the Oklahoma City paper saying I didn't know basketball because I was criticizing Russell Westbrook for taking more shots than the guy I loved, Kevin Durant. And Kevin dismissed me because he didn't want me to sort of wreck their relationship, a relationship that Kevin finally just left and walked away from and walked all the way to Golden State to join forces with the team that obviously they had down 3-1 in the playoffs. So the point is that Damian, like Kevin, can then use his insecurity and lashing back. He says, oh, I don't even watch Undisputed, yet he seems to know everything I say on Undisputed. But he fueled, maybe you tell him, but it fueled him now the last couple of games to take it up even another level. And I agree, he's had a sensational year. And yet I need to see more. As I keep saying, I didn't see it against Boston in the bubble at the end of the game. And obviously I didn't see it against the Clippers at the end of the game. I didn't see it like you guys saw it at the end of the game the other night because I thought he was shaky and lucky over the last minute and a half of that game. But the point is, what should it matter what I say? Why should he take it so personally? And Kevin does the same thing. Kevin will lash out at the whole media and say, none of y'all know anything about basketball. Really? Well, they just voted you the MVP of the league. Remember that press conference at the All-Star game? What are you doing, Kevin? But Kevin was so fueled that with the weight of the NBA world on his shoulders and getting criticized from all levels and all directions, he goes to the finals the first year with Golden State against LeBron and outplays LeBron in his house twice in a row, 2 straight years. Kevin Durant used it to become finals MVP. Man, well, how can you be so thin-skinned and then nothing seems to bother you once the lights are the brightest? And again, maybe Damian will show us this year, maybe against your Lakers, that he will use all this negativity as fuel to take it even a higher level.
Chris, you see what Skip's trying to do? Well, the criticism. It's not the smallest criticism. It's the smallest unfair criticism that the players have a problem with Skip Bayless. You find fault. The guy missed 1 shot. He dropped 61. And you're going to talk about a shot that he missed. Not the 18 shots that he made. Not the 18 or 18 that he goes from the line. You're going to talk. You won't mention that he has 2 series game-clinching shots against the Rockets, against OKC. He sent Memphis packing. But you don't mention that. You talk about...
We were just talking about the game the other night, and you called it a virtuoso.
Yes!
And he missed 2 shots. He back-ironed a 3 so hard that it went 2 backboards high and did something that's a 1,000,000,000 shot. It fell through the hoop.
Anthony, did you pull those for me? Is that it? You got it. This one, hey, Chris, I don't normally do this. This is why I would have been a great lawyer. Watch this right here.
Great lawyer. You lost every case on this show.
That's the same type of shot.
What happened? How did that ball go?
Yep.
And it hit the front rim, hit the backboard. Look at this one. That had never happened before.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, is it not a 1,000,000,001 shot?
Well, I guess it's 3,000,000,001 because we just saw 3 of those. Right.
So somebody sent you that on Twitter?
No. I had to go snooping. I had to go looking. I had to go snooping, Skip. I had to go snooping. Me and my, like you said, I got me a researcher, a producer. Steve Owens, he went to Heisman for nothing.
I ask you again, did Damian aim at the back iron? Was that his goal was to hit the back iron and bounce it 2 backboards high and down through the hoop?
Is that what KD did? Did KD aim at the back iron?
When?
Just then. That was KD shot that one.
Yeah.
That was KD.
Was that to tie the game that you had to win to get into the playoffs?
Skip,
Well, seriously. No, seriously. That's to tie the game, and he tied it. Then he comes down with a money shot, a Dame Dollar money shot that's going to at least clinch overtime, and he missed it. I'm sorry he did. And then he goes down and loses his man who makes what's going to be the game-winning shot potentially, and he gets let off the hook by a completely unnecessary offensive foul by Trey Burke, who veers over to him and knocks him down.
And he makes amends for it.
Yeah, and Chris had the audacity to say he took the charge. He didn't take the charge. He was like lost. What are you talking
How
about?
about this? He's reminding.
That was a shaky close.
For me, Chris, he's reminding everybody how special he is because it's the bubble, because Portland play a lot of their games late. They play in teams that if you're not really interested in that team, you're not going to pay attention to Portland playing Brooklyn or Portland playing some of these other teams. But because it's the bubble and we've been without basketball for so long, you're getting an opportunity to see just how special this young man is. He goes 51, 61, and since those two missed free throws, he's 33 or 34 from the free throw line. That's 97%. Is that good, Skip? Dame Dollar is a superstar. He's
So wait,
spectacular.
why did the Clippers shame him and ridicule him and clown on him? What time is it? Goodbye. They wouldn't do that to Kevin Durant or
Of course
LeBron
they would.
James.
That's
They
what you
would
do to
not.
superstars.
They do not. They would not.
Here's the thing, too, though. Dame has never had, as good as CJ is, Dame has never had that other superstar with him.
Right.
And Russ has always had KD or Paul George. You know, Paul George didn't do much till he got with